Greetings, YouTube lovers and subscribers and friends. Thank you for checking out this video. It's been a long while since I've done one, but this one's called 2016 Sucks Part 2, and once I'm done with this video, you'll understand, hopefully, why I haven't done one. But before I get into why 2016 Sucks Part 2, there has been a little bit of good, I guess. Last year I did a poetry manuscript titled Lost in Hiatus, which was kind of a 20-year project that I finally finished. It was a real pain in the ass, and it wasn't necessarily fun putting it together. After I had finished it, I just started writing and started posting stuff, and before long I had probably about 20 new pieces. Anyways, I finished a new one. It is called, I don't know if you can see it, it's called Evolution. I'm really proud of this. I like this one. It was fun to put together. It just came really easy, really naturally. If you haven't checked out my poetry website or my poetry page, you can check that out. It's allpoetry.com/darksidewritings. And when you post something on there, they have an algorithm on there that can kind of rate your poem and tell you the good, the strong words that are in it and the weak words, and kind of rates it. Anyways, when I was doing this, I put something together, and it really doesn't mean a whole lot to me. It's not one that I have a strong affection for, but anyways, I write this, I type it up, and lo and behold, it gets a great review on it, and they featured it on their main page. So that was a accomplishment, because that has never happened to me. But it's called Alone Again, and basically it's very short. It's alone again when a singular point of view is barren, an amused joke no longer discerns laughter. Our words can't fill in the blanks. The once familiar wave is now drifting away. Singular now holds a new meaning for us. So that got a good review. It was featured on the front page. If you want to check out some of my other works, head on over to allpoetry.com/darksidewritings. Now, why 2016 Sucks Part 2? I don't even remember what sucked back in January, because I've been dealing with so much other shit since then. Basically, around probably mid-February, I was hearing noises in my van. And when you hear noises, sometimes it's hard to tell where they're coming from, whether it's from underneath the van or in the motor or on the side of the motor with the pulleys. Anyways, I got underneath the van and I saw a little hole in the pipe just past the catalytic converter. So I thought that was it. So I take it into the shop, and I thought they could just cut the pipe off, weld a new piece in there. And when I took it in there, after about 5 minutes, he put it up on the hoist, and everything was rusted. So I mean, there was nothing that could be cut away and welded. That whole section had to be replaced. And then he noticed like a small oil leak, so that had to be fixed too. So I just wanted it fixed. So there was about $350 out of my pocket. Anyways, I picked it up, drove it around, still heard some noises. So I took it back in, said, I'm still hearing noises in it. And so he looked it over, noticed, and I think it was this time that I asked him to hold on to it and just drive it around, make sure everything was fine. So I took it back in, and he noticed there was a crack in the AC compressor, and there may have been something else. Maybe a pulley or a belt, I don't remember. So anyways, I had to get that fixed. That ended up being another probably $633. And I'm not made of money, and when I start getting in debt, I start getting really stressed out. So anyways, I got that paid. I thought everything was taken care of. And then one night I drive to a local convenience store with my son and go in, get what we need, come out, start the engine, and this time it's probably in March. I'm guessing. Start the engine, and the brake line breaks. Fluid comes out. Luckily, I still had the front brakes, so I was able, and I didn't live far away. I was only probably about a 5 minute drive, so I was able to drive it back home. The next day, I had to have it towed to the shop. That costs money. And so I had to wait for them to order the brake line, and that wasn't an easy job simply because they had to remove the gas tank and get all that put together. So that was a project. And then I got the van back again. I was driving around. I still heard a noise. Kept driving it, and I finally realized, went to the bank, and I was like, the noises I'm hearing, there's something wrong. So go to the bank, and my intentions were once I go to the bank, I was heading back over to the shop, drop the van off. Anyways, when I get into the car at the bank to start it, it kind of sounded like it had a hard time turning over, kind of like your battery's going dead. Anyways, I tried it again. The van starts. I start heading down the road, going to the shop, and then next thing I know, everything just cuts out on me. By this time, well, this is probably maybe early March. Everything just cuts out. It stops. The brakes go out, or you have to put a lot of force on them to stop them. The steering becomes hard. And I was just like, please God, let me just get into a parking lot. I was coming up to a convenience store. I was like, just let me be able to get into a parking lot because I don't want to stall in the middle of the road and be holding up traffic. I'd be mortified if that happened. So luckily I was able to coast into the convenience store, had to call a wrecker, had to have it towed back to the shop. They started working on it. It was probably in there probably close to 2 weeks. But anyways, get a call on Friday morning from the mechanic, and he says, I got some bad news. The timing belt broke. When that happened, it bent some rods. It's not worth investing money into fixing the motor. So at that point, they were talking about looking at trying to find a used motor, but there were still other things that had to be done with the car, and or van. And I was concerned, geez, I put money into this. Before long, it's going to end up being $3,000-$4,000, and then there's going to be problems. I'm going to have to turn around and end up buying a used car anyways, and have to spend out another $4,000 or whatever. And so a $4,000 car would end up costing $8,000. So I basically had to find a new or used vehicle to get around in. That ended up costing $4,000. I'm not a rich person by any means, so something like that definitely, it was unexpected and hurts my budget. And at some point in there, I had the car in the shop so many times. At some point in there, I had to also rent a car for a few days. That ended up costing, with all the rental cars, I had to rent a car, I think a total of 5 days. That ended up costing roughly $300, I think just under that. So I had that going on. Well, then the other issue I had going on is with insurance. I had to find a new doctor, a new psychiatrist, because the other one left his practice at the end of last year. So that was stressful trying to find a new psychiatrist. So I went to see one back in January, gave him the insurance card. My therapist, I'm still seeing the one that I was seeing previously, just at a different location. The insurance that I have, they accept. So all this stuff was supposed to be sent in, but there's still no record of the insurance company receiving the claims. that creates stress on me because it's just constant follow up. And so for the past few weeks, I've been constantly calling and seeing, did they receive it? Because I get paranoid about that because I'm worried that something will happen, and before long, I'm going to be, $500-$600 in debt or more, and have to work at paying that off. And I can't deal with that. Then during all this time when all the van is taking place, I did a video last year, I think, and it was about, it may have been 2015 sex, I don't know. Anyways, last year in July, I had a falling out with my son's coach. We left the team, we transferred to a new club, and got all the transfer paperwork, turned all that information in, and I've been having trouble with this coach ever since. It seems like they should just move on. It's a kid, let him play soccer. You got a great team, move on, focus on your team. But anyways, since we left, he's tried to stir up trouble between me and my ex-wife. He's tried to contact my son's new coach. He showed up at a game, and then come to find out, when there was the new team did the paperwork incorrectly. So there was a scheduling meeting back in January where all the teams gather, and they put the schedule together for the spring season. And the coach's wife on this old team approached the team administrator on the new team and started going off and started creating all these problems. The team administrator had no fucking idea what she was talking about because she was coming across like a crazy lady. And they shouldn't have even been talking, simply because they wouldn't have been sitting together, since they're in two different divisions. So, and they didn't know one another. There's no reason there should have been any contact. So again, it was interference on this old coach's part. And from that, everything just kept, rolling into a ball, and I knew nothing about this until like February 25th. And so then I get a call. They said, my son's double carded for 2 clubs, which he can't be. They're going to expel him from the club along with my older son, who had done nothing incorrect. This upsets me. I have to get this taken care of. And I think the thing that's irritating is nobody bothered to contact me in this period. And I did all my work. I gave them the transfer paperwork, so I did everything on my end. The old club did everything on their end. The new club messed it up, so they're the ones that should be taking responsibility and fix the error. So, and my older son certainly shouldn't have been held responsible. So, this created a big mess. And the thing that's frustrating is they didn't even give me a chance to resolve it. Is basically, I was told on the 25th, and then like 4 days later, an email was sent out to the team basically saying that we decided not to return, and that was, far from the truth. Anyways, this whole situation could have been resolved in literally a 10-minute phone call. 10 minutes. And something that could have been done in 10 minutes took a few weeks. So during this time, I'm dealing with all my car issues. I'm dealing with insurance, and then I got this shit I got to deal with. And, there's a lot of heated exchanges back and forth between clubs and me. And, my emails were professional and to the point. And so, anyways, it worked itself out. It took a couple weeks, but my older son got back on his team. My younger son is actually playing for a better team. He wanted to play for them, and they wanted him on the team. So he's actually playing on a better team, and the ones who are really screwed is his old team. because he was probably the best player on the team. And had the club taken the time to call me, this could have been resolved in 10 minutes. And my son would be on his old team and they would have benefited. Everything would have been resolved, taken care of, super easy. So I was dealing with all those things. I'm still dealing with the insurance. I'm just waiting for the next thing to happen. I'm hoping at some point life will get better, but it's been extremely frustrating, aggravating. My anxiety's been really high. Just really drained. Want to, just basically lay in bed, be left alone, and just decompress. So, been eating tons of junk food, have put on weight, and so that's why 2016 continues to suck. So I'm hoping that now that this video is done, I'll get this posted. I'm hoping that maybe I'll be able to do another one that focuses on other topics, and get that posted relatively soon. I've talked in the past about wanting to do some. I'm a big George Harrison fan, about maybe doing some of his CDs, going over those, what I like, what I don't like. But a lot of people have left questions and comments from the time of my last video up until now. I'm going to try to go through and maybe get those questions and do a video on those. But anyways, that's why I've been away. Just really stressed out, a lot of stuff going on. And this was just something that had to be put on the back burner. Anyways, I'm hoping everything is going good for you. Like, subscribe, share this with your friends. It's nice to see the channel grow, and I hope it continues to do so. If you haven't checked out my poetry, please do. Go to allpoetry.com/darksidewritings. Hopefully you won't have to wait 3 or 4 months for the next video. And I should say, when I was doing these emails with this club, I had a feeling the president of this one club was full of shit. And so the only gratifying thing that came out is I was able to draw him out of the woodwork, see that he was full of shit just like I thought he was, and then basically not have to worry about being nice to him. Be professional, but not necessarily be nice. And basically call him out on everything and put him in his place. So that was the only good thing that came out of that entire exchange. But like I said, like, subscribe, leave comments, check out the poetry. Hope your life is going better than mine. Thanks. Bye.